Okay, let's try to solve this problem in the homework. Well, let me go ahead and just explain how to solve it and then add some comments towards the end. So for this problem, it's an inequality. We have different ways to solve it. One way, which we can use, which is the simplest way of doing it, is to multiply absolute value of x plus 2 on both sides of my expression and add a comment which basically reminds myself because it's on the denominator, so it should not have been 0. And also, you may ask, why can't you do this multiplication? Well, I'm telling you can do this multiplication because for absolute value expression, it's either 0 or it's positive. It's never going to be negative. So I'm perfectly fine with multiplying both sides of my inequality by something that's positive because my expression can keep the sign and there's no question left. So in this case, I can cancel out those two p's. So the left side of my expression is 1. The right side of my expression is 3 times x plus 2. Therefore, it is 1/3 greater than or equal to x plus 2. So if you don't feel comfortable with the structure, you could have write it slightly differently. It is x plus 2 less than or equal to 1/3. So once you get this structure, you should be able to work out the rest part, hopefully relatively easily. You have x plus 2 to be less than or equal to 1/3, but greater than or equal to 1/3. We have multiple homework problems before this one, talks about how to solve an inequality like that. And therefore, what you could have done is you can minus 2 to each piece of your inequality. So what you end up with is x less than or equal to 1/3 minus 2, greater than or equal to negative 1/3 minus 2, which is now simplified as this. But don't get too excited just yet. Do you still remember what we said earlier? I'm multiplying something, it's on the denominator, so it tells me my denominator should not have been 0. Therefore, x plus 2 should not have been 0. Therefore, x should not have been negative 2. So both this condition and that condition has to be true simultaneously. One came from the fact that x plus 2 is on the denominator. The other one came from the fact that you were solving an inequality, so there were some inequality expressions that's telling you the answer. So putting two parts together, you do realize negative 2 is somewhere in between those two numbers. So your final answer actually should have been negative 7/6 less than or equal to x and less than negative 2. Or you are negative 2 through negative 5/6, which means you could have this expression or that expression. Okay, so be a little bit careful. You are supposed to throw the point of 2 in the middle. So by doing this, that wraps up my discussion of this problem. However, I do want to provide an extra explanation in case some of you were slightly worried. Well, this is a problem 1/x plus 2's absolute value greater than or equal to 2. What if the problem is something that looks like this? Remember I said in the first section of this text of this course that you should have moved everything to the same side and find out the common denominator so you can express the problem and rephrase it as negative 5 minus 3x, x plus 2, greater than or equal to 0, and to solve it with the sign chart. You may say, hey, why didn't you multiply x plus 2 to both sides, just like what you did in the previous problem, in the absolute value problem? Why didn't you do that? The reason I could not have done that, and that was wrong, is because you have no idea what's x. You have not solved for x yet. Therefore, x plus 2, I have no idea whether it's greater than 0 or it's less than 0. So there's uncertainty here. Therefore, by multiplying x plus 2 to both sides of my inequality, I have no idea, should I keep it as greater than or equal to, or should I have flipped the sign to the other direction? Therefore, I am not supposed to multiply anything whose sign is not clear. Okay, sign not obvious or not clear to both sides of my inequality because I might have to change the side of my direction of my inequality. Versus this problem you have here, it is absolute value expression. Don't forget, absolute value of anything is guaranteed to be either 0 or greater than 0 because it appears on the denominator already, so you know it's not supposed to be 0. So I'm multiplying something which is guaranteed to be positive to both sides of my inequality, which is something perfectly reasonable to do in terms of inequality and multiplication, so we can do that.